while I was Google searching today, I tried to Google search Vladimir Putin and Queen Elizabeth. And Google rejected my search. Because I had probably filled it up with 3 hours worth of fucking reptilian hunting on it. And then all of a sudden, like, all of my Google function completely went out. And I couldn't find the Vladimir Putin Queen Elizabeth photo that points and proves that one of them is a reptilian.
Well, that's scary.
I got really sad.
I'm telling you, they're after you now. Didn't you say you went to the dark web?
No, I didn't go to the dark web. I went to a web page that was black background with green font.
Warning. The topics discussed on this podcast are subject to adult themes and languages. We seek to unravel the unexplained and unknown. This is Encounters.
Well, let's dive into this crazy shit so I can go back to sleep. I'm kidding.
Amanda is gracing us with her presence today. We woke her up from her dungeon nap.
I know. It's been a long week.
I know. I saw you filling up all them holy bottles.
I'm telling you, probably 500. At least
insane.
500. It was a lot. And we got like 2 pallets worth of stuff all the way to the ceiling. I had to help unpack. And we got like an order, so it's just a long day.
Long day. Okay, so today we're talking about reptilians. Or lizard people.
We're talking
Draconians.
Yes, Draco. They have so many names. It's a little ridiculous. Where do we start?
Yeah, where do you start? Okay, so for most of you out there, I'm gonna assume you don't have a clear idea of what a reptilian is.
Wait a minute.
What?
Wait a minute. You're talking about people who know us. You know all these people know who reptilians
Fair. Okay,
are.
let's just. That's fair. Okay. For anyone that doesn't know what they are, we're talking about alien species that have this like snake, human, lizard, like they're lizard people. I don't know what to tell you. Some people have drawn them in images where they've gotten more like humanized, like, but they're still like fucking lizard people. Think Land of the Lost, fucking lizard people. Think who else? Doctor Who? Is that? No.
Yes. My first experience ever hearing about these lizard people were Doctor Who, where they were drilling and they found like an entrance to this underground cave with these lizard people. And it was a really good episode. If you like Doctor Who, then you've heard of these lizard people.
There's a massive conspiracy theory, I guess you would call it, behind their whole demeanor.
Yeah. And millions of people believe in this conspiracy theory of these lizard people from outer space that control us.
Let me just give you a physical characteristic that was broken down on Gaia online. It says that abductees report a variety of skin colors ranging from brown to green, red, and sometimes white. These colors and presence of wings are said to signify rank amongst reptilians, while white-skinned beings viewed are the elite class. Their webbed hands...
Of course.
oh, God, I know, right?
Really?
That comes from David Icke himself. They're said to have webbed hands with 3 fingers with a long, sharp talon, and that they're often seen wearing armor and cloaks. And many abductees report having scratches or bruises from the encounter, and they're said to be from the 4th or 5th dimension. So that's just some thing to drop out there. I don't know. They're lizard people. That
they're
come
giant
from the Draconian star. Oh yeah, they are giant, aren't they?
Yeah, they're said to be like 18 to 20 feet tall. They live between
what?
1,000. Yeah, like giant. I heard 18 feet.
18 foot. Okay, well, that's huge. That's like Godzilla.
Yeah, like giant winged lizard people. They have a smaller class that are like the more worker class of lizard people. Like there's different, right? I mean, just I hate you.
From what I found, they're like 6 to 7 foot tall. Like, the thing is, they're said to have evolved alongside humanity from the beginning of time. In fact, that humanity itself is a creation of these draconian aliens.
I'm ready to talk about these bird people.
They're not birds. Are they birds?
Mm-hmm. They are the carrions who created. Girl, you got me all up in this stuff. So, the master race with the carrions, along with the feline race, created the reptilians.
I didn't get that deep into it. Jesus Christ, thank God.
It's made me... Y'all, I've reconsidered everything in my life.
This shit is ridiculous. I mean, it's not super ridiculous because there are elements of it that do link and do have some really interesting connections. But some of the shit that this stuff gets into is ridiculous.
Just get ready. Yeah, I think we should start from the beginning, technically, I guess, with this. Like I said, they're supposedly from space because they're from this Draco system. And they came to Earth. I don't even know why. To rule, I guess, yes, right?
It's said that they feed on, like, since they're from the 4th and 5th dimension, how they gain power and feed is not unlike 2 cryptids we know. Through human subjugation, they can have the power of despair, and that's what fuels them, in so many words. Ultimately, it's also global conquest. They're also said to be in a war with the Greys, and that's been an ongoing war for a long time. But basically, their master plan is to create these half-breeds to completely defeat the Confederation of Humanity. And they also eat people. Mm-hmm. So, I mean...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're like cattle, supposedly.
But there are 3 major types of alien reptoids that you need to know about. There's the Alpha Draconians, the Chameleons, and the Nagas, or the Nagarians. The Alpha Draconians, that's basically your glorified lizard people. These are the people that are said to be, like, in the Illuminati. Like, the skull and crossbones fucking people.
The top.
Like, no, they're literally the Illuminati.
Yeah, they are. They're the secret.
They're the secret.
They are.
They claim to have originated on Terra thousands of years ago, which they used to justify their reason for retaking Earth. And they're basically the ones that have planned the invasion. But they wanted to do it through infiltration, which is where the chameleons come into place, who are reptilians genetically bred to make themselves look human. The shapeshifter reptilian, if you will. They are the infiltrators, are the ones that go in. This long list of celebrities, from Queen Elizabeth to Beyonce to fucking everybody. That's what these people are. They're the chameleons.
Are these the ones who actually look like people, or are these the ones that are like, when we see them, they look like people, but they're actually these reptilians?
That's what they are.
Okay. They look like our minds make them look like people?
I don't know, it's like getting past that camouflage that they have as chameleons.
Okay, yeah.
You can see past that. Yeah. They've got, like, big bulgy eyes, and they're hairless. Like, many people report that they use artificial lenses to conceal, like, the little slits that come over the iris. Like, I don't know, anything that...
Yes.
Yeah, that.
And there's so many videos on YouTube of people, celebrities, like,
politicians,
and you can see their
Dick Cheney,
you can see their reptilian selves.
Donald Rumsfeld. That's 2 people. Google that. I bet you. Well, don't Google it. Like, get fucked over.
You might want to be careful.
And then the Nagarians are like, they're from, like, India and Tibet, where they're like demons They're said to be 7 foot tall, of various colors, with green crocodilian skin. They even still have a tail. I don't know where that comes from, but they're like high tech stuff. What?
Can I just tell a sidebar story about... Okay, so the first time I ever heard about all of this stuff, I was in Huntsville hanging out with my friends, and I had asked for an allergy pill, and he unknowingly gave me Benadryl instead of like a regular allergy pill. And my friend started talking about all of this stuff and telling me about the Greys and all of this, and I couldn't really say anything or move because I was like so sleepy from the Benadryl. I felt like I was going insane, so it just took me back for a second. This stuff is so insane. Okay, but anyway, back to the story.
So that's the 3 major types of reptilian aliens. There's a lot of other things. They're also known as the Anunnaki, which is crazy. We also have semblances of them in religions that originate here on Earth.
Yeah, that was crazy to me. That almost, like, if I was kind of looking for this might almost get me to believe it, because it's kind of convincing, I have to admit.
I mean, it comes from biblical nature, Sumerian nature, Islamic, Chinese. There's even been reports of these things at Teotihuacan, which is the temple of the flying serpent.
Yeah. Native Americans have dealt with these, like, snake-like creature type of thing. It's everywhere.
Yeah, but you see what appears to be a man sitting in a dragon almost, but it's like a snake with wings. And it appears all over the map. And I was talking to my mother about this earlier today, basically driving her crazy, saying, how could it just show up? Nobody knew that North America even existed at that point, except the people that live there. Or South America, for that matter. And they got the same shit that's in Egypt and in Sumeria and all over the fucking place.
Yeah, it's all over.
So, let's break it down a little bit. In Chinese culture, the reptilians are shown in mythology as dragon kings. The 4 elemental corners, shape-shifting into humans at will, pulled by celestial dragons with their heavenly chariots. In Islam, they're compared to the jinn, which are creatures of the smokeless fire, who sometimes appear as snake-like beings. The jinn were created by God and exist under the same rules as mankind. That's what we, in the West here, interpret as the genie, like from Aladdin. What was it in Sumeria, Amanda?
So there was written in Mesopotamia. I don't think I said that word at all right. Sorry, y'all. They found some scrolls that were talking about these. So they're talking about these godlike creatures that were advanced in technology, and they're like flew in these almost UFO things. They didn't call them UFOs, but they were just talking about how they're advanced and that they were mixing their DNA with the man, and that they soon became the Homo sapien, and a small group of these masters, as they were called, wanted to free the Homo sapiens because they were created to be worker-like people. And this one named Yin, who was the genetic engineer of the Homo sapiens, was like a snake-like, had a snake-like den. They had a den full of snakes, so it was called Yi's Den. And that one day he decided to free the man and mix with his DNA and give them knowledge. And it's like, I don't know. They were pretty much comparing it to the story of the Garden of Eden and how a snake-like creature seduced Eve. And then once he ate from the forbidden fruit, that they gained all this knowledge and realized how they were naked and gained sexuality and stuff. And then it was said that the reptilians who did this were forced to move underground.
Which is where most of the conspiracies lead to them living presently. It's really interesting because the same conspiracies that are attached to Mesopotamia are also attached to the Bible. There's conspiracy thoughts that the snake in Genesis is actually a reptilian, and that the exact same events unfold.
But anyway, what the point is, all over the world, in pretty much every religion, there is a snake-like / dragon-like reptile type of thing that eventually gives humans knowledge that they didn't have before.
Or that they shouldn't have.
Exactly.
And now, to really flesh out, you've got the idea of a reptilian. I want you to, like, close your eyes.
I hope, if you do. They're from space. They're aliens from space that want to control us. They're reptiles. Okay. After all that, I hope you got that much.
To really flesh out what a reptilian is, you've got to pull into the conspiracy. You've got to roll into the shit that David Icke is selling you. And this is the guy who popularized it. That does not mean that it was not around before. That does not give it any less credit. Here's what David Icke has made claims to in regards to the reptilian race. He says that they're shape-shifting reptilian aliens who control Earth by taking on human form and gaining political power to manipulate human societies. In 1999, he introduced the idea that many prominent figures derive from the Anunnaki, a reptilian race from the Draco constellation. Boom, we've got the Anunnaki again. Remember those? We talked about those just a few minutes ago. Now, he proposes that there's an interdimensional race of reptilians that have hijacked Earth and are trying to suppress us and keep us, like, shook up and, like, under their control. And that...
So crazy.
I know, it's so crazy. He also believes that they have this chameleon race that we talked about earlier, where they shapeshift into humans and whatnot, that they have formed a Babylonian Brotherhood and the Illuminati as a means of global control, and they live in the Earth. It's claimed that the first breeding programs with humans took place over 200,000 to 300,000 years ago. In fact, they think that Adam may have been a genetically modified reptilian creation.
But Eve wasn't?
I don't know. Maybe.
I'm sorry. No, keep going.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, it's like, you also can't sit and think about them as lizard people because they don't really compare to lizards because they're from the 4th or 5th dimension.
Created in space by bird people.
As of 2003, it was thought that reptilian blood has claimed or encompassed 43 American presidents, 3 British and 2 Canadian prime ministers, several Sumerian kings, Egyptian pharaohs, a bunch of celebrities, and that the key bloodlines are Rockefellers, Rothschilds, aristocratic families from Europe, and the fucking House of Windsor.
So it's like Prince William?
Yes.
A lizard person? But he's so nice. Why?
It's also said that the Reptilian Brotherhood has created or controls the United Nations, the Round Table, the Council of Foreign Relations, the Club of Rome, the CIA, MI6, Mossad, science, religion, the internet, the media, the military, and the London School of Economics.
Just the London one?
Just the London one.
Damn. They got William and the economics.
But here is the thing. What is the ultimate goal? Why are these reptilians coming to Earth, fucking with us, trying to get us suppressed, get us mad, get us under their control? Icke claims the goal of the Brotherhood, or their great work of ages, is a microchipped population, a world government, and a global Orwellian fascist state or New World Order, a post-truth era where freedom of speech is ended.
And it said that they're poisoning our food or air or water.
They eat us.
Stupid. They love eating children.
They drink our blood. Amanda, do you know about the moon?
No, what about it?
It's thought the moon is actually fake. It's a projection that the reptilians are doing.
Why?
To keep us living in a dream world.
Oh, man.
And that it's actually a giant screen that's reflecting onto us and affecting the left side of our brain to make us feel like we're living in the Matrix.
That makes so much sense.
And that unless you can force yourself to become fully conscious and break away, you remain
in the Matrix.
Well, we can't really say Matrix. We don't own the Matrix rights, but yes, in the Matrix.
I'm sure it's okay.
It's actually called the Saturn Moon Matrix, so boom.
Right. I don't think they're gonna sue.
But it doesn't start with David Icke. That's not where it starts. You can actually even trace it in literature all the way back to 1929, where a author by the name of Robert E. Howard, who wrote the Conan the Barbarian books, was writing stories about serpent men in his story titled The Shadow Kingdom. And he wrote a lot about places that had lost worlds, like Atlantis. And his works have inspired most of the theories about the shape-shifting lizards that infiltrated high policy-making circles through the power of mind control. So it's not just crazy, all out there crazy woo-woo, but it is still science fiction.
Right. I like how we get so much stuff from science fiction, even though fiction is in the name. Oh my gosh.
But, you start looking into some of the conspiracies behind it, especially the abductions. And it starts to get a little scary because that's where it becomes tangible. It's fun to sit back and joke about the idea of an alien species that's infiltrated Earth, living in its core, feeding on humanity while we don't know it, because we've got a giant hologram of the world around us rather than seeing the death and destruction that they could be causing. It's fun to sit back and laugh at that. But then you sit and hear about abductions where people have gone into ships with draconian lizard-like people, and you start researching the conspiracies behind the gray abductions as well. And reptilian theorists surmise that the reptilian race is actually controlling the greys with implants, and that those implants are what the greys are putting into humans during these abductions. So you've got reptilians who are abducting, and you've got greys who are abducting on behalf of reptilians, if you believe in that theory. You bring these together with some stories or encounters that you have, and they get a little spooky. Do you want to hear one I have, Amanda?
Sure.
I'm going to take you to Sao Paulo, Brazil. Are you excited?
No.
Why?
I'm just kidding.
It's thought to be the first recorded reptilian account outside of the United States. It occurred in 1980 in Sao Paulo, Brazil. And I'm not going to say the dude's name, but he was a science journalist who had many contacts in South America and was informed of some strange events that happened. Months before the incident, witnesses claimed that they had followed by 3 men in black suits. One evening, a dark car pulled up to the house, and against his will, he got into the car and was driven to a remote area. The car halted when they were underneath a large object that hovered overhead. The 3 men and the witness exited the vehicle, and as they walked underneath the airborne craft, were enveloped in a beam of light. Once they were inside the craft and strapped to a chair, the witness stated that the 3 men appeared to have shed their skin and transformed themselves into reptilian humanoids with green, scaly skin and a heart-shaped head. He stated that one had a point that he managed to glimpse inside another room on the craft and saw human corpses that were being hung by their feet. After that, his next memory was being back outside his home. Aside from remembering the creature speaking to him about upcoming global events, he has no other memory of the incident.
That's weird.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
There was also one that happened in Arizona. In the Sorona Desert, while cycling the 24 hours, it's a 27-kilometer trail through the Sonoran Desert in Arizona. There were 3 mountain bike cyclists who spotted a strange creature when they stopped for a short break. Well, one of the cyclists took a toilet break. The other 2 spotted what they described as a 2 meter or 6 foot very skinny creature that appeared to walk with an awkward gait. When the other biker returned and gasped at the sight, causing the creature to turn its head towards the trio, it appeared to be observing them. The cyclist described its eyes as being snake-like, black with a yellow stripe in the middle. The creature was covered in green and red scales and had 2 holes in its face where a nose would have been. It appears to have a red pattern around its mouth and didn't seem to have any visible ears. The creature suddenly turned and scampered out of sight, and that's all I got.
I like it.
I would shit myself if I saw a 6 foot tall snake man.
I mean, who wouldn't?
I would, I would be gone. These people are sitting here watching this thing. I would be like, goodbye. I'm just
yeah, I'm good.
ridiculous. So, how do you fight a reptilian? You can't. Sorry. They're gonna eat you. What can you do to protect yourself? Stay ever vigilant. Or continue living in the Matrix. You do you. There are ways, though, if you are scared and want to try and make sure that you're staying vigilant, there are ways to identify reptilian hybrids. Did you know that, Amanda?
I think I did.
You want to know how to spot them?
Sure.
They say if a person has narrow, slit-like eyes with facial features that are real lizard-like, they may be a shapeshifter.
Because that makes sense.
They are also believed to have extreme height, so that could be a giveaway. You're supposed to look at pictures of the real person to see if it looks like the same person. If you want to do that.
I mean,
if you want to break into the personality traits of these people, look for someone who's a cunning manipulator. Someone who's power hungry. Said to be energy vampires. This is the shit that's crazy. One of the main reasons they want to enslave humanity, not only to eat them and control them to do their bidding, they feed on fear.
And jealousy.
And jealousy, sins, I guess, bad things. So look for someone who's quite draining around you. They could be a reptilian. Narcissism, that's a key factor. Destructive sadism.
Constructive sadism?
Destructive.
Oh, I was like, what is constructive sadism?
Okay, this shit's ridiculous, and I just want to take a moment to get away from it really quick. Amanda, will you assist me in a little game?
What?
Say yes.
What is it?
Yes.
No, I want to know what it is before I say yes or no.
I went online and I found a quiz that The Atlantic published on October 31st, 2013.
Okay.
It says, are you a reptilian?
Okay.
I'm going to see if you're a reptilian, okay?
Alrighty.
Do you have green or hazel eyes that change color like a chameleon?
No.
That's a no for me, too. Do you have red or reddish hair?
No.
Not presently.
Nobody has red hair anymore.
Do you have low blood pressure?
I have no idea.
Do you have keen sight or hearing?
No. I wear glasses.
Do you have ESP?
No.
Do you have UFO connections?
Yes, actually.
Do you have a love of space and science?
No.
Man is like, I fucking hate science.
Shit.
Do you have piercing eyes?
No.
I'll make that a yes.
That's a weird question to ask somebody, though.
Right? Do you have a sense of not belonging to the human race?
No, I'm good.
Do you have a deep compassion for fate of mankind?
Sure.
Do you have psychic abilities?
No. Actually, yes.
Just cross that out there. Yes. Do you have any unexplained scars on your body?
I don't think so.
Maybe. Do you have the capability to disrupt electrical appliances?
No.
And
Do you?
no, I mean maybe, I don't know.
I've never really
I don't.
tried.
Yeah. You watch. Once we get off this call, I'm gonna be like 11ing it, like at my lamp. Do you have alien contacts?
No. I mean, like, people from another country. Those are my alien
Let's
contacts.
see, Amanda. Judging by this, you are not a reptilian.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, this was some crazy, deep, like...
We didn't even scratch the
Like, we straight up Icarused it. We fucking took off with some wax wings and I just scraped across the top of this mountain. Just like straight through and kept flying. There is so much stuff that you can't even prepare. You have to like be just waiting in it for life to get an understanding of what is going on. I do think it's absolutely interesting with the ancient alien idea. I don't know what to say, Amanda. Like,
no.
What do you say?
People who believe in this have been researching it for a very, very, very long time. To come in and just try to figure it out is insane. There's so many steps to it, and just they have so much proof and whatnot. But it's crazy. So if that's something you're into.
It's also important to remember it's a conspiracy. Proof can be anything in a conspiracy.
Exactly.
They do have some concrete proof that is mostly concrete interpretation.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they believe that Queen Elizabeth is a fucking lizard person.
I know.
And that's the reason why Vladimir Putin wouldn't help her out of the fucking palace. That's what I couldn't fucking even Google search, Amanda. Yeah. Fucking Queen Elizabeth. I read on a blog on Reddit that was like, the reason Vladimir Putin didn't help Queen Elizabeth at their meeting was because he knows she's a lizard person. And I was like, no, this surely cannot be. And when I went to Google and typed in Putin, Queen Elizabeth, lizard person, you cannot Google search. So hopefully you can find this episode still, guys. So next week, we have decided to take a fan submission and do one of Amanda's favorite places. Where are we going, Amanda?
Stanley Hotel.
Ooh, the inspiration for The Shining. And the Dumb and Dumber was shot there. What else? I don't know much about this place.
With Dumb and Dumber shot there? I know.
There's a scene at Dumb and Dumber that's shot out in front of it.
Supposedly Jim Carrey's terrified of Stanley Hotel. We're going to go deep into it.
Fun.
Yay! I think I understand it a lot better than I understood whatever is going on.
I know. We hope you enjoyed Reptilians, a conspiracy overview.
Right.
Or breezing. a nice dusting of reptilian conspiracy.
Yay.
And until next time, this is Dakota.
I'm Amanda.
We out.
Oh my god. That's even worse. You didn't even say this is Encounters. Did we even say the name?
You've been encountered.
Okay, ew. Goodbye. I'm ending 3, 2, 1.